Hi, my name is Sonika and I have a 2-year-old little girl whose name is Navika and she's going to be 3 in March. I'm also expecting baby girl number 2 who is going to join our family in the month of May. Now, I'm not a parenting or a child expert, so whatever I'm sharing on this channel is based on my own personal experience as a first-time mom, and I sincerely hope that these help you too. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a topic which has been asked to me by most people I know, including my family and friends. And it is, how does Navika learn to talk and communicate so clearly? Because her usage of words is on point. Now, I really didn't know when a child is expected to do certain things, but when questions like these started to drop in every single day, I started to feel that, okay, there is something that I'm doing different. And that's when I was already learning about Montessori. And as I kept learning, I realized that there were certain things which I was already doing right. And it also helped me learn so many new things as well. So in this video, I'm going to share everything that I have done in order to foster her learning and build a strong vocabulary. So let's get into it. First thing first, books. I had no idea how important a book can be in a baby's life. I mean, I really thought that it's not required. One of the initial questions that was asked to me by Navika's pediatrician after I moved to US was, do I read books to her? And I was like taken aback because I didn't know that I had to read a book to her. I mean, what was the need? She's just 6 months old. That's when she actually made it a point to tell me that I have to start reading a book to her. And I was like, okay, I'll definitely do that if that was the recommendation. And I went ahead and I bought a couple of books for her. And I could see how much of a difference it was. I got this book for her, and there's one more book that I'll show you in a bit. Least did I know that you can ideally start reading to your baby from birth. So was I late in starting this habit in my baby because she was already 6 months old by that time? Turns out it was not. So when I did introduce the books to her, and I would read to her a couple of times in a day, and she actually started showing interest in that. She did end up chewing some of her books, but that was also the starting point of me doing some research. I started reading and listening to podcasts, and I also bought myself a Montessori book. And that's when I started to discover how beautiful Montessori method of education is. It resonated with me so much that I really wanted to see that change in my life and in my daughter, because Montessori is something not just applicable to children and babies. It is actually a way of life. So if I'm following it, it is also impacting my life in a positive way. So reading the books have helped Navika a lot in building good vocabulary and communication skills, because going through the books and then looking at pictures and talking about it and then relating it to the real objects in the real world, that is how she was able to connect things, and this paved a way for her great communication skills. I'll definitely be doing a video of my book recommendations for various ages based on what I have introduced to Navika. So hopefully you'll have some ideas of what to buy for your little ones. But today's topic is all about how to build vocabulary with your little ones, and that's exactly what I'm going to tell you now. First thing to remember here is that as parents, we have to be consistent and patient with our kids. Rushing up things do not work with children. You have to be really patient and of course do it on a consistent basis. Every child is unique and they learn in their own pace. So we have to respect that. We don't want to rush our kids into learning something. Oftentimes, as parents, we tend to ask our kids a lot of questions like, show me your eyes, show me your nose. And there's nothing wrong with this, but you want to make sure that your child knows what you're asking him or her. So, in case you have already said to your child, these are eyes, these are the ears, this is a nose, and you might have assumed that you have said it so many times, so probably the child knows already. But when you question this in front of, say, other family members or friends, and you say, show me your eyes, and the child instead points it to the nose, then what do? How do you handle the situation? Do you say, no, 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 that's not your eyes, show me your eyes? That is something which we should avoid. This is a clue for you that the child is still learning and needs some more time before the child can correctly point out to you what is the eye, what is the nose. Instead, this is how you will handle the situation. If you ask your child, show me your eyes, and the child instead shows your nose, you can say, oh, you want to show me your nose? Or, oh, that's your nose. And that's it. You don't have to say, no, 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 that is not your eyes, that is the nose. You don't have to say that. I hope you kind of get the idea here. It really depends how we are talking to our children, because that impacts their learning ability. One thing to keep in mind here is that questioning your child again and again, and if you're not getting the correct answer back, can demotivate the child. The child can lose interest in it and also lose his confidence, and we don't want that. Now, this leads me to talk about the Montessori way of teaching, which is 3-period lesson. Ideally, we all do a 3-part lesson intentionally or unintentionally with the kids, but when you know the right way of doing it, you'll be more conscious of taking the right steps. I'm going to provide you one example each for how I did with Navika when she was 1 year old and how I did when she turned 2 years old, like around 2.5 or so. I'll show you using this book. So I introduced this book to my daughter when she was around 9 months of age, and initially I only showed her the pictures and pointed to each and every fruit and sounded out the name of the fruits. So for example, if I'm showing her this picture, I only said apple, apple, strawberry, strawberry, orange, orange, blueberries, blueberries. So you get it. This is how I went ahead with this book. Good thing about this book is that it has real pictures. It's not animated or cartoonish, and the child can relate to it. So once I said her that this is apple, I kept saying that, apple, strawberry, orange, blueberries. This is what is called in Montessori method of education the first period lesson, wherein I am telling her what is what. Next, when I am aware that she is able to recognize the various fruits here, I'll ask her, Navu, can you show me an apple? And then she'll point out here. Can you show me a strawberry? She'll point here. So this is how I would go, and nothing more, nothing less. These I'll probably avoid. And yeah, I never read these to her when she was little. So I only asked her, show me the apple. So she would point here. Can you show me the strawberry? She would point here. And if by mistake, instead of apple, she pointed to the strawberry, I would only say, that's a strawberry. Then she would point here. Yes, that's an apple. So this is how I went. And then from one page to other, I covered all the fruits and vegetables, whichever you are seeing here. Once I was confident that she knew all these fruits, I would ask her, can you tell me what is this? By that time, she was able to sound out some words and she would say apple. But of course, she would say appa and that meant apple. So she would say appa, appa, like that. The first step was, this is apple. So that's your first period lesson. What's the second period lesson? When you are asking the child, show me which one is the apple. This is the apple. So this is the second period lesson. And when I ask, can you tell me what is this? The child says, apple. That's a third period lesson. So this is how a Montessori 3-period lesson works. Now, with time, I also showed her the real objects. As of now, I only have oranges in my home. So when there was this orange, I would say, Navu, look, this is an orange. Look, this is an orange. They are the same. So this is how she was able to relate a 2D picture with a 3D object, and this is a real fruit. This is how I would work on the vocabulary building of a child. In Montessori method of education, a work rug is required because this defines the workspace of the child. This is the area where the child can work. Okay, so these are construction vehicles 3-part cards, and as you will notice, one is a control card which has a picture and its name. The child has to first place the control cards on the rug. Next, the child will match the picture cards to this name card. And as a child will match the pictures cards, in this case when Navika does it for the first time, I will sound out the names of each vehicle. So while doing this matching activity, she is learning the names of the various construction vehicles. Next, as she grows older and is more able to recognize the letters, she will match the name cards to the control cards and sound out the names of these vehicles. This way, she gets a complete understanding of the vehicle, its name and how to spell it and how it looks like. I also bring out her construction vehicles that she owns and let her to match these cards. When we are out and if we come across a construction site, we make sure to identify various vehicles there. This way, when the transition happens from a 2D picture to a 3D object and to the real object, it sticks with her in her memory, thereby enhancing her vocabulary base. I think I've covered most of the things that I had to share about vocabulary building, but this is not an exhaustive list. I'm sure there are many different ways to encourage vocabulary building and verbal communication in kids, but I have shared what I have practiced with my girl, and it's great because she has always been able to communicate to me what she wanted to say. With time, her communication skills have only improved and her usage of words is on point. Sometimes she amazes us by using big words and that too in the correct context. Okay, that's it for today. I hope whatever I have shared has been helpful to you. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments below. At the same time, if you have any suggestions that I have not mentioned in this video, please feel free to drop it in the comments as well so that it could benefit the whole community. If you found this video helpful and would like to see more of these, I would request you to consider subscribing to this channel. I post new videos every Tuesday and sometimes a bonus video midweek in case I find some time for it. You might also want to follow me on my Instagram handle and on my Facebook page, the details of which will be there in the description box below. If you liked today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also check out my other videos. I will link this playlist here. I'll definitely appreciate you joining our family by subscribing to this channel, and I cannot wait to see you here next week again. Bye.